I, M43, was thinking of breaking up with my chronically ill, F50, partner plus 4-year update. I am not the OOP. OOP is you, co-rescue X and you, throw Ara Cora's co. Trigger warning. Depression. Less than. Mood spoiler. Hopeful. Less than. I, M43, was thinking of breaking up with my chronically ill, F50. Partner plus 4-year update. Originally posted to our relationship advice. Original post April 3, 2019. Posted as you, co-rescue X. Please forgive me, this is a throwaway account. I'm a long-term Redditor. But I don't really want to be asking for advice on an open forum when it can be traced back to me. Anyway, here's the situation. My partner, 48F, and I, 39M, has a bit of a row last night, over something kinda trivial. It's not what it was about, but rather a straw that broke the camel's back scenario. We've been together for coming up on 10 years now, and we've been living together since 2011. My partner is long-term ill with ME/CFS and hasn't been able to work since we've been together. I do work. I'm paid fairly well, but living on a single salary has been challenging. Anyway, I realized about halfway into the argument that I was done with this and just left the house. Drove away because I simply couldn't be there anymore. Ended up sitting in the car trying to decide what to do for several hours. Couldn't really decide. Hence this post. Now, our relationship has been brittle for a while. That's at least partly my fault. I've had next to no libido for months, and haven't really done anything sort of romantic or going on a date for quite some time. I think I may have been skirting the edges of depression, and I haven't really been sleeping either. But either way, I work. I come home, and I'm really not keen to be doing much at all at the weekends, because I'm just weary. I do have things I end up needing to do, because the consequence of a chronic illness is that I'm pulling double duty as a part-time carer. In fairness, I don't need to do much on that front, but it's a few hours a week on top of my day job. It has been worse in the past, when the ME really flared up, and because I earn more than a pittance. My partner's basically not eligible for any state assistance that's means tested. The threshold is pretty low, and we live in a fairly high cost of living area. But I've been feeling fed up, I think, is the best way I can describe it. I keep having recurring moments of doubt, where I feel like I'm being exploited and taken for a fool. I mean, I've paid all the household costs and rent for pretty much 8 years. And that's not really a small amount of money. If I'm lucky, I put by 5% of my take-home for my spending money. And I've only done that in the last year or so, because I realized I was being unreasonably tight with everyone else I knew. Because I thought of myself as broke. If you ask me if I care for my partner, then the answer is yes. I do care for her. We have a dog together, and I know she needs me even if she became eligible for state assistance. It's not really generous when you're persistently debilitated, but I also can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that's contributing to the depression too. Our future is basically me working to fund both of us up until retirement and possibly beyond, because we won't own a house, and we'll be living on a single pension, which again isn't bad, but the one minor hope is that ME/CFS will just go away one day. But it's been 10 years so far. Following our argument last night, I found myself thinking through the scenarios of what if we broke up, and the prospect seems complicated. We've got a lot of shared stuff, but doesn't make me feel sad or upset like I feel it probably should. It'll be expensive and difficult though, as we're in a joint tenancy agreement. And like I say, we've a dog. She's non-negotiable. She's literally saved me when I've been feeling suicidal. How do I know if we're done, or whether the relationship is worth salvaging? Update 4 years later, March 20th, 2023. Posted as you, throw our Akoras co. It was 4 years ago that I posted that. And I thought I would come here and share what's happened since. I didn't break up with my partner. We're living happily ever after. Because as a lot of commentators pointed out, I was depressed. And that was a problem. It turns out I have ADHD. Have done forever. And I'm late diagnosed at 43. Treatment for depression was very beneficial, but highlighted the ADHD possibility. And that too has now been treated. And I'm happier today than I have been in a long time. Possibly ever. Because I do still have my chronically ill partner. She's now my wife. She proposed to me. And she had faith in me through my depression. Where I wasn't the nicest of people. I was pretty awful, frankly. I was the stereotype bundle of red flags that this sub would have said, run screaming. And honestly, you'd have all been right. She probably should have done. I was depressed to the extreme. And, well, wasn't easy to live with. A very hollow justification perhaps. But I thought it would be better this way, to push her away. But she didn't. She had faith in me. In her words, "This isn't you. This isn't the man I fell in love with." The ultimatum to get it sorted was what I needed to get depression treated and then follow through to get my ADHD diagnosed and treated were what I needed. I didn't really deserve that, but I'm glad I got it. It took 6 months maybe to go from my lowest point to where I am today. Which is happier than I have ever been. I have a good job. I have a dog. I have a home. And most of all, I have a loving wife who had faith in me when I was at my worst. 30 years of undiagnosed, untreated ADHD are being tackled. And 20 years of depression is unraveling. It's taking a while, because there's a lot to unpack. I'm maybe not quite the man she had faith I could be. But I'm going in the right direction. I want to be that man. Because we aren't just a couple, we're a partnership. And that partnership is sustaining and enriching. Edit. Sorry. This is a repost. Apparently a throwaway needs to be explicitly tied to the sub, but I do want people to see a good post. So I'm having another go. I am not the oop. Caregiver fatigue and untreated depression is a nasty combo. I'm glad they found their way through. This is a sweet story. Undiagnosed ADHD and depression nearly ruined my relationship too. It's not just forgetting things and being absent-minded. It's also obsessing over things, and sometimes those things are horribly negative. Threw a depression cocktail into the mix and it's hell for you and your partner. I'm really glad they got treatment and their relationship survived. Oh, this is a really nice one, smiley face. Untreated ADHD is hell. You literally do not function the way the rest of the world works and you get blamed and shamed for it. So glad Oop found treatment that works. I just wish I could go back and unpack that bit about his partner not qualifying for assistance. It seriously makes me want to deep dive and see if that can't be fixed. Depression and ADHD are a hell of a thing. I'm so glad Oop got sorted out. This gives me hope. Love, a single gal with MECFS from COVID. I just started treatment for ADHD at 36. So far, it seems to be helping a lot. It's not magic, not like my CPAP was for my apnea. But man, it's nice to be able to direct my focus. I know this isn't related to the original post, but my sister is a caregiver for her daughter, my niece, and I know it is taking a big toll on her. She's also pregnant right now. Are there any fellow caretakers that can give me some advice on how to make life easier for her? Encourage her through this? I work full-time, so I'm not much help during the week, but I try to help on weekends as much as I Can and always try to let her know that I love her and I'm here for her. Any advice? I guess I'm the only one who worries that he was essentially medicated to suck it up and stay in a situation that benefits his partner but robs him of his financial security and life goals. Like somehow him seeing that this isn't working for him is evidence that he was flawed and he needed to be treated so he could sit down and shut up and get back to providing sole financial and caregiver support. Yeah, glad he is taking care of his mental health, but his situation still sucks and hers too. This dynamic of the relationship isn't good for neither of them. It really sucks that she can get benefits because that makes her vulnerable. She isn't just a partner who is free to walk away when she wants. She needs him to survive, to be her carer and support her. She can't easily leave if she isn't happy in the relationship or even if he becomes abusive. In his side, he can't leave without being crushed by guilty. He was unhappy and couldn't easily break up because someone depends on him to live, and this is too much of a relationship. He has a partner but he is alone. Taking care of household chores. Taking care of her and having to support both of them. He can't save money for a rainy day or a house, let alone for retirement for two people. This is depressing AF and no medication will fix. I wish disabled people had more support and everyone had a CESS to benefits, married or not, because this is very dangerous for them, and I bet many of them stay in abusive relationships because of it. He didn't mention in the update her chronic illness. I know that they really don't fully understand it or how to treat it, and there is no cure. So like logically, how did they even get married or do anything together? I hope everything got better on that front too. Also, we're able to get her some at-home medical care. So you are telling me there are men who do not dump their old ill partners? Good men like this exists? I'm glad this has a happy ending. Being a carer is hard work. I started caring from the age of 11, and I'll tell you it was the hardest thing I ever did. 2019 was 4 years ago. What? This post reminds me of my own recent situation. But sadly, when you CFS and your partner of 10 years finds someone new who isn't ill, there really isn't anything you can do to convince them to stay. What is going on? Last few days Reddit has been almost wholesome. Truly, these are the end times. Lol, this guy is such a doorknob. I feel like they should have divorced but not broken up. His issues weren't just the depression, ADHD. They could have gotten assistance and still had their happily ever after.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.